Hello everybody and welcome to Sober Bliss with me, Gail. And today I'm so excited because I'm joined by a lovely lady who is just coming to the end of the 3-month Transform program with me. And she's here today to have a little chat with me about how it's been for her, the progress that she's made, and she has made absolutely amazing progress. So I'm so excited for you to hear all about her experiences. So welcome, Amari. It's so lovely to be chatting to you again today.
Thank you, Gail.
So yeah, like I said, we started working together 3 months ago. And obviously now you're in a completely different place than you were 3 months ago. So would you mind just telling our lovely listeners and watchers a little bit about that place that you were in 3 months ago?
Sure. You know, looking back 3 months ago, I think I was in a very dark place in my life, and definitely in an exceptionally lonely place. Um, I have to think about it now. It actually was quite a scary place I was in. We had been I would say, about 2 months into our lockdown with the pandemic, and I found myself being back into my struggle with wine, and once again, wine had become my friend, or should we call it friend?
Yeah.
And what I realized was, although I'd gone through the struggle on and off over a period of years, the spiral had just become more of a whirlwind. It started to just go faster and go downward a lot quicker. And I was really scared. I didn't see a way out. Very lonely, and I just realized it needed to stop.
Yeah.
And that was the spot I was in.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm so glad that you found me, because as I keep saying, the transformation has been absolutely amazing, amazing. So obviously you made this decision that something had to change. And what was it about my program, about me, about Sober Bliss that inspired you to reach out? What kind of gave you the confidence that I could help you, basically?
Over the years, and I think we talk about probably a 10-year period, is although I've stopped many times before for periods, it obviously didn't stick. And I remember one night going through Facebook, and I came across something of yours, and it resonated with me because I did save the article, and it had something to do with writing and dealing with addiction through writing. And I've always in my life thought that, I love writing.
Yeah.
And I love putting my emotions down on paper, and I think it is a very much a healing process. Not that it's something that I do on a regular basis, or used to do on a regular basis. So I went back to that article, and then obviously went onto your website and started looking at it. And then, Gail, to be honest with you, the very scientific reason was that I just loved the look and feel of what I saw, the beautiful natural colors of the website, and the phenomenal photos that's constantly on there. Your beautiful open smile, and the language. The language that was used was just positive, uplifting. It wasn't a process of you were going to start this and you were going to do this. It wasn't regimented. It was open. It was free. And I think I needed that gentleness at that point in time. And I just thought, it resonated with me, this whole clean, gentle approach. And then most of all, it was that it was a woman that's walked the path, somebody that I could relate to, that's been there, that would understand if I, explained how I felt. So I didn't have to try and explain to somebody that hasn't gone through it. This was somebody that's walked the road, and that was very important to me.
Yeah. I remember that Saturday when we first connected, and just listening to you, I knew exactly what you were going through.
That was a very dark, sad day. I can remember how teary that conversation was.
Yeah, I know. But look at you now, and we'll talk about this a little bit later on, but throughout this whole process for you, things have just kind of slotted into place, haven't they, all along the way? And obviously you put an enormous amount of work in, which is, what's required, and that's really what's helped you because of your commitment and dedication. But just going back to the beginning, what was maybe one thing that you noticed, like straight away when you started working? What did you notice about yourself? What did you notice about the program? Because when people sign up, they can be a bit unsure of what to expect.
Okay. I think what stood out to me right from the beginning, I think the first thing is how committed you were. Okay. Like, Gail, you were there throughout the process, and to this day still, like, you're just constantly there, and not in a way that is like,
a little gremlin.
Gail is there and I've got to report in. Definitely not that. It's the gentle way in which I know that I'm not walking this path alone. Okay.
Yeah.
You are there with me. You've been there with me every step of the way. Okay. Every single day we've communicated. That to me was very important, because I think when you get to this point where you ask for help, I think very few people actually understand how down and how lonely one really are when you reach out. And to know that there is somebody there, that I've referred to you often as my lighthouse. And that was it. You were just this lighthouse for me, somebody that I could go to at any point, that provides me that solid guidance. So that was very important to me, right? And really, you gave me that security right from the beginning. And then the other thing is how well planned the whole process was. From that Saturday when we spoke to receiving that first workbook, and how well prepared, how beautiful it looks. So you immediately feel proud of getting this beautiful thing, and you want to start working. And then as you start going through, you understand that this isn't just a couple of pages that's been thrown together. It's well thought through program that takes you through the journey, and you get that view quite quickly in the first couple of days. You realize that she might be asking you this question today, and oh gee, she asked me that yesterday, but that's why she asked me that yesterday, because it's all building blocks that helps you to dig deeper, to understand issues, to realize what things are about. And that stuck out, was really important and made me feel secure, that I knew this was a well thought out process with a lot of support.
Thank you.
Your hard work.
Yeah, somebody once said that I was like a little gremlin on the shoulder, but in a nice way, I suppose.
Yes.
So has anything kind of surprised you about going through the process? You know, has anything happened that was unexpected? Has anything unexpected happened within yourself that perhaps you weren't expecting?
Geez, Gail, the whole process has been unexpected to me. You know, I signed up for this and I thought like, okay, well, I'm going to somebody and I'm saying to her, like, you know, I need help. This relationship I've got with alcohol isn't a healthy relationship. And, you know, so what do you think? Yes, you're calling it a transformation program, but, you know, like word plays, you're just going to tell me how to stop drinking. That's what I thought. Wow, hardly did I ever expect that I would 3 months later be sitting here, the person that is now demanding that everybody, not demanding, but, you know, a big advocate for morning routines and for getting up and starting your day correctly. And who would have thought, and you would remember, you know, my reaction to meditation. That here I am meditating and loving it. And actually being able to, and I'm proud of it, being able to meditate for 20-25 minute sessions now. So, you know, the whole process has been, so yes, the one part is I did it for sobriety. But what was so unexpected is that I'm walking out of this a complete, not new person. Of course, I'm still the same person. Okay, but I've uncovered that youngster again, that with all her fight and all her love for life and stuff, she's back a little bit. So here I am, and I'm sort of getting a second turn again, or second time to live again and to do exciting things. And I've got security. So I've been able to put aside something that was negative in a process, or something that needed work in my life. But I didn't expect to walk out with so much confidence, so much inner peace, so much just love for the world around me again, and hope. And I think that is probably the biggest surprise to me, is that this is what's come at the end of it. It's like a big present I received.
I love that. I do. Because it's not just about removing the alcohol, is it? You said there before that you thought I was just going to tell you how to stop drinking, and that's really just the beginning, isn't it? As you know, it's just everything happens after that. After you remove the alcohol, that's when the magic happens. But it is a process. Obviously, you can't do it in a couple of days. And 3 months, you know, we've been together for 3 months. And I just want to ask you, because obviously this is quite a delicate topic. People are scared, they feel vulnerable. It is a big thing to do. But is there anything that you've enjoyed? What have you enjoyed through this difficult, challenging process?
I've enjoyed I suppose, the emotional challenge. Okay? What I've loved is, you know, I think this is the most time I've made for myself in 10 years, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been an up and down 10 years. In 10 years, you know, there's 3 beautiful kids that came along. There's been moving of countries. There's been houses bought and sold. There's been a lot of change, okay? But in those 10 years, you know, I've never put myself anywhere first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I've loved about this is realizing that I'm also a person, actually.
Absolutely.
And what I've loved is this process has forced me to have to put time aside, otherwise you can't do it properly. So, you know, like we've said before, I took it quite seriously from the beginning, and I made the time, and I got up early, and, you know, in the beginning I would get up at 5 o'clock, set time and work through my workbooks, etc. But as we've moved through the process, I've realized, but why am I getting up at 5 o'clock? I've also got a right to take an hour out of the day, in the middle of the day, and say to other people, it's now my time. And that's what I've really enjoyed about it, is the time that I've spent time on myself, time reflecting, time understanding, and sometimes just time being quiet. Something I've never done.
No.
In 40 odd years of being alive, I haven't done a lot of that, and we don't understand the power of just that quietness and the power of it. That's what I've really enjoyed, and that's besides all the lovely chats you and I've had, and all the good cries we've had together.
We have had a few of those, haven't we? Yeah, but I think it's important that you put your whole self in the whole process.
Definitely.
And I obviously put my whole self in the whole process as well. So it's like a, you know, a journey that we take together, I think, which does make it enjoyable, if that's the right word. But yeah, I think it is a nice, enjoyable process.
It is,
especially
it's a phenomenal process.
Yeah.
It is a phenomenal process. But you are right. It is actually something that you and I, you know, you develop a very close relationship, and you walk it together. And although there's people in your life, you've got close relationships with friends and with partners and stuff, this relationship is very special, because, you know, it's dedicated time, and it's incredibly special to take that time out. And I think that's also what is so successful about this, is that you're forced to take the time out, to reflect and to work on it, and then to have this person that's there to guide you and to push you. And you do push sometimes very hard in certain directions. That's how you get, and it's a partnership. And yeah, I think, you know, that develops a very, very special bond through the 3-month period.
Oh, thank you. And you said I kind of forced you to do things. Was there anything about working with me, anything about the process that you didn't like? I know there is.
Stuff I didn't like. The one we've touched on is, I mean, I'll never forget that morning that you said to me I needed to meditate. Oh, my oath. I was like, oh, not another one. You know, and there was, when I say there's stuff I didn't like, there was definitely things that was very hard to do. On the one side, there was suggestions from your side to say, you know, I think you now need to go and do this, and I think you now need to go and do that. Let's take the meditation as an example. Amari, I think maybe try some meditation, okay? And you know, you always say try it. It's your decision at the end of the day, because it's your transformation to do it. And that's, some of it is uncomfortable to go and do. Some of the journaling, that's the journal prompts. Sure, some of them are hard. And yes, you can just read over them and not answer them properly, or you can choose to go through it and really dig deep, and it will be uncomfortable and it will hurt. But through all of those, okay, all the stuff I didn't like, I can say to you that there's not one of those that hasn't now become part of my life. Even the fact that I now sit down 3 times in a day.
Yes.
And sit down and have a nice cup of coffee, or just sit down with a book and quickly read a couple of pages. And they've all become part of a new future, and a new me. So although not everything is going to be easy, but you don't transform by doing things just the same way. You've got to do things differently, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. I put a quote, you've probably seen it on Instagram the other day, as nothing changes if nothing changes. And no matter how hard it is, I think you can only grow and heal if you do the things that make you feel uncomfortable, as you know, because I remember when I said to you, oh, maybe you should try sitting down 3 times a day, your eyes just went like that. What? But now you do, and you get enormous benefit from just changing that one simple
You remember
thing.
I had to set an alarm that I had to go off 3 times a day.
You did.
And now I actually intuitively know that it's time to go and sit, because I needed not even the alarm anymore. So
wow, that's so powerful. Yeah, gosh. And how are you feeling then about alcohol? How has your mind set changed regarding wine in particular?
You know, what I have realized is, you know, I always thought, oh, wow, you know, just need a glass of wine and I can deal with this and sort this out. And wine's actually didn't help me with anything. It didn't make anything better. It actually probably made everything worse. Through the process, Gail, you know, we walk into this, and if you've had a little voice in the back of your mind, and I think even if you don't, you know that alcohol is a dangerous, addictive substance, okay? We do hear it, and some of it, you know, we choose to ignore it, or, you know, we don't want to hear that we are down a slippery slope, or going down a slippery slope. But through this process, I've learned so much about alcohol, but also just about so much more about how the brain works. And this is all through, you know, like your sessions where you get to meet other people and the guest speakers and all of that. And I found that fascinating, you know, learning about essential oils, learning about different relaxations, learning about neuropathways, you know, all of that stuff just builds your knowledge base, and you actually grow as a person, and you understand so much more. And I feel completely different about it, because I realize it's not my friend, okay? And I think the big thing is, you would think coming to the end of this that you have a hate relationship with alcohol. I don't feel like I hate it. I just have a nothing for it now, because I've decided to just step away. You know, I started the process counting days, 1 day, 2 days sober, 3 days sober. And I've done this every other time that I've tried over the many years. And what I find fascinating is this time, I did count in the beginning, and I stopped at some point, because I just realized, Amari, are you going to count the days until you die? Like, what are you doing here? And it's a powerful tool, and it works for some, and that's fantastic. But for me, alcohol has just become, I've chosen to say goodbye. It's like not eating meat, or choosing not to do, it's a choice I've made, to live without it. Because I'm just so much nicer and so much better without it. So yes, a completely different view about it.
Yeah, definitely. And we've touched on the fact that it's been quite an emotional process. It's been, you know, ups and downs. Was there anything in particular that you really struggled with, that you had to kind of overcome over the 3 months?
I think, you know, the hardest thing for me, Gail, was definitely learning to like myself. Coming into this process, and, you know, going back to that Saturday, I remember seeing myself on this silly Zoom call, and all I could think was, oh, you're so fat, you're so ugly, you know, you all these things. And when we started the process, you know, I was in such a low. I didn't think that there was any good in me or anything nice. And then you gave me this wonderful exercise, where you said I needed to write down 3 things I liked about myself, every morning after, you know, as part of a morning routine. And I broke down. I completely broke down, because there wasn't a single thing. And I remember talking to you, and you were like, well, you know, what about your hair, or your smile, or and I was like, I don't like it. And there really wasn't something. And I remember you saying to me, well, then don't make it 3, just make it 1. And I couldn't come up with 1. And it took a couple of days, and I eventually could give you at least 1 thing. But over the period, I've actually started to like myself. And that's been phenomenal, because, you know, you can't care for family, and you can't create opportunities, and you can't be there for other people if your tank is so empty. And I think, you know, that was part of the hardest thing for me to do, was learning to love myself again. Through, and I suppose it's natural, you know, when you're in that cycle, and especially if you're in the bottom cycle of that spiral. I woke up every morning saying, oh, you're useless, and like, I don't want to be here, and I don't want to get up, and like, and to turn that around takes hard work, but it's so nice to be able to, you know, look in the mirror and to accept the person and to like the person on the other side again.
Yeah, I think that's been the biggest thing for me, to watch you go through that process, because I know just how wonderful you are, how amazing and how beautiful you are, but you have to be able to feel it yourself. And obviously when we're drinking, it's all negativity. You know, the wine witch is always there to put us down, and it takes a lot of courage to actually say, no, I am worth it, and I am amazing, and I am fabulous. That's one of my brilliant quotes that I love, because you are fabulous, and I'm just so glad that you've been able to see that.
Thanks, Gail.
You've been working through the program. So what's been your biggest achievement then? Let's kind of get you feeling happy again? What is the best thing that you've done over these past 3 months?
I think blissfully sober.
Yes.
It's that feeling of waking up in the morning and being excited about the day.
Yeah.
And not dreading getting up. Yes, you are tired because, you know, we are, but just feeling excited again and feeling excited about smaller things. Not not having that feeling that even the smallest thing is a big drag for the day. Being present with my family and my children. Not constantly thinking about negative thoughts, but being there, you know, wanting to go out and go for walks. And I mean, I've even bought a bicycle.
I
and
know.
If you had told me that you would ever see this person riding a bike, I would have laughed at you. But here we are, you know, and going out cycling with the family. I mean, wow. And doing those type of things is just absolutely so
yeah. And your energy's returned as well, hasn't it?
Oh, so much stuff. I don't feel like just sitting. I can promise you that much. Definitely wanting to get up and do things, and a willingness to do stuff with people, with kids, you know, going out in the garden, planting my herbs, having some herbs again. Let's start there. You know, going for walks, being happy to go out with the family and do things with them. I've got so much more energy. And what I also love is, you know, taking care of stuff. The small things are lovely again. Cooking meals, you know, taking care of myself.
Yes.
Is lovely. I've read more books in the last 3 months than ever before, because suddenly I've got time to do it, and I'm sleeping again, girl.
Yes.
Which, you know, you lose the ability to sleep properly, and I'm sleeping again. So, you know, you also just through that feel so much more refreshed. And the other thing is, you know, you're able to cope with life so much better. It's fogginess in your head.
Yeah. I remember you told me about your holiday that you'd been on, and you said it was the first holiday where you actually felt present and you did things. So obviously the clarity and the energy made that all possible in your holiday. Otherwise, you know, you said it would have been like in the past where you sit on the sidelines and let the family do their thing, but this time you've been involved and enjoyed it, which is most important.
Exactly. I mean, in the past, you know, they would have gone off cycling, and I would have loved to just have this time alone to recharge. But I never felt recharged. And here I was on the bicycle, going out with them, cycling, and it was lovely. You know, I would have complained about having to walk, you know, to go for dinner or stuff like that. It's not stuff I like to do. We now, it was only the little ones that complained. But shame, you know, that's what kids do. But it was so lovely to just be able to have the energy and the willingness to just walk and, you know, go into nature. That's just so nice. It's how you discover how beautiful it is to go on to all these beautiful walks. And so yes, that was lovely.
So if you could just kind of sum up for us where you are now compared to where you were 3 months ago?
There's no darkness. You know, if I close, there's no darkness. I don't have sadness in my heart. And I don't feel a sense of weight on my shoulders. You know, even just sitting here, like, I remember that constant feeling of, like, you know, weight. I feel free. I feel calm. I feel grounded. I feel so much excitement and hope. Hope within myself, in comparison to where I was, and love. I suppose that's the other thing is, you know, love and gratitude. Girl, just gratitude again. Gratitude for what you have.
Yes.
You know, we forget this, the beautiful, or I did forget. I actually still have exactly the same life I had before this, yet I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I was so unhappy. The gratitude is also another big thing I'm feeling now. And gratitude that I've taken that step to go through this process.
I know.
And the pain that I went through was all worth it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's so lovely to hear that. It really is. So what's your kind of plans for the future? Do you have any plans, or do you have just a feeling of what you might like to do now with your full, rich life and all the energy that you've got to live it?
You know, it's been something that we've questioned for quite a while. And as you know, like, you know, I love my ceramics.
Yeah.
And I've been toying around with ideas. But, you know, like for the last, let's call it 5-6 years, I've never felt that there was like any way I can ever go and do something again. And I do now. I don't know what it is yet, you know, it's too early. But what I do know is I'm suddenly putting myself out there. So I am looking to introduce myself to new things. And, you know, I'm subscribing to things I would have never subscribed to. So I am enriching my life and learning and reading about topics that I would have never even envisaged, you know, that I would do. So I do feel there will be something that will come out of it, but I don't know what, but I'm excited about it. There will, you know, I'm playing with 1 or 2 ideas that I'm bouncing around with my husband. But we'll see. Whatever it's going to be exciting. But I am definitely looking forward to that part. So we'll see.
Yeah. And the fact that you are looking forward to something, you are excited, you are playing around with ideas, and you are open and willing to try new things and see what comes up, is a huge difference from, you know, 3 months ago when you said you couldn't even be bothered to get out of bed, and now you want to see where, you know, life takes you next. And I think just that feeling, just being in that place, is made, you know, all the emotion and the struggle and everything that we've gone through together just so worth it to see you excited for the future again.
And it's so nice to be able to just, you know, like, and have the confidence to actually sign up for a 1-month course and to suddenly do these things, which I just didn't do before. And through all of this, something will come. Something will come.
It will, and I'm so excited to see what it is.
Yay, so am I.
Okay, so let me see, what else have we got? Yeah, can you tell everybody what is your number one, or maybe one or two, best tools for keeping you on this sober path?
So through the journey, Gail teaches you to have a toolkit, okay?
Yeah.
And definitely my tool is my morning routine.
Mm.
Okay? I've become very, very fixed on my morning routine. So I still love to get up before the family. Possible most mornings, not possible all mornings. But, you know, that to start my day off calm instead of rushing into my day, and setting a nice start to the day is very important. For me, personally, it's meditation that is very important. And then also, you know, my journaling, taking a few minutes just in the beginning of the day to say, you know, what do I feel like? What do I want to feel like? What am I grateful for? That I find to be very, very powerful. That's very important to me. And then I've realized is, you know, in my toolkit is definitely my eating habits and staying hydrated and taking care of myself. And then a vision board.
Yeah.
And seeing my vision board every day. That is so important. You know, when we started the process, I did my vision board, and that's so important to just always keep your eye out on the ball. Where I want to go, what do I want to achieve, and what am I going to do today to take me one step closer? Or, you know, am I being true to myself and living my life so that I am going to achieve that?
Yeah.
That's my toolkit.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And it changes.
And exercise and nature. Sorry. Moment there. Definitely getting out there. You cannot stay inside. Screens and all of that doesn't do it. You've got to get outside into fresh air. That is critical.
Yeah. But not in bare feet like me.
No, I don't do that. I'm exceptionally sorry. I'll plant my herbs with my hands, but I do not get my feet dirty unless it's in sea sand.
Yeah. Oh dear. So
I'll stay grounded differently, Gail.
Yeah, well, I think that's the whole thing though, isn't it? Being out in nature and connecting to nature again. I know my personal experience, when I stopped drinking, I went out for walks all the time because I had to get out there. I don't know if it was a calling or whatever, but you too said that you've just walked so much over these past few months, and it is important.
It is important. And there's, you know, it's one thing to go for a lovely walk with a family, okay? Sure, but it's so much nicer to go on a walk on your own, because you actually get to just clear your head. You know, one of my favorite times of the day has become in summer, given in the UK, to go for a walk at like 7:30, 8 at night, because all my work has been done for the day.
Yeah.
And then the sun is setting, and you know, you get that beautiful smell. And just to walk then and just go through the process in your head, and it's become such a nice time for me to go for a walk.
Yeah. And you're present for it and living it and feeling it now.
Yes. And to take time. I mean, as you know, sometimes go and stand still in those walks. Just to breathe in the air and just get quiet and just be by myself. And, you know, you turn around and you open your eyes and you do see the world differently. You really do.
Yeah, you do. So given everything that you've gone through with me, that we've gone through together, would you recommend that if somebody is struggling with their drinking, would you recommend that they maybe think about doing this transform program?
I definitely would, Gail. For many reasons. I think, people give up drinking or reconsider their relationship with alcohol in different ways.
Yeah.
And what I like about your program isn't just give up drinking.
Yeah.
It is consider your relationship with alcohol and what do you want that relationship to be. And there's many ways you can walk out of this. Okay.
Yeah.
It could be to moderate. It's going to be different for different people. Okay. But I would sincerely recommend it because although it is focused towards sobriety, okay, you get so much more out of it. And if you throw yourself into this and you do this properly, you will understand your relationship with alcohol. Okay. Yeah. You will understand how to move forward with that relationship. But you will also have gone through a process whereby you've been given the tools to live your life in the future, okay, in such a way that you know securely that you can carry on based on whatever decision you've made. Yes, it's going to take some work, but it takes work for all of us to constantly renew, make ourselves better. We all need to take time out. And, I've been hideous with that all my life, but hopefully now, that is definitely a practice that I want to do, is reconsider. And that's why I think this program is so important. It doesn't just tell you how to stop. It also tells you how to live again, how to take care of yourself, how to carry on securely. And that is just as important as the stopping part.
Yeah, it is. It is, definitely. I agree.
And that's the more scary part when you stop, actually.
Yeah, because you're like, okay, now what do I do?
Yes.
But hopefully, now you say you've got the tools, you've got the confidence, and you've got what you need to be able to move on to the next stage of your life, and have alcohol, like you said earlier, just irrelevant now.
Yes, so, irrelevant is the word.
Yeah. Okay, and finally, if somebody is watching this and they are unhappy with their relationship with alcohol, whether they come and join me on this program or not, what advice would you give to that person?
Listen to that little voice. We all have that little voice in our head that questions, is this healthy? Am I doing the right thing? Am I drinking too much? Is my relationship healthy? Listen to that little voice, and reach out for help. This slippery slope is very steep. And it happens quickly and it happens subtly. And before you know it, you can be in places that you never thought you would be in. And, there's help in many different ways to do this. There's books, there's podcasts, there's blogs, there's all of that. But if possible, in any way, get somebody you can talk to. And for me, I was lucky enough to find you, Gail, and that really helped me. But take the first step. It's the hardest step. It really is. That first step is the hardest step. But take that first step, and be proud of yourself for taking that first step. And I once read, if you keep on just stopping and starting and stopping and starting, you're actually doing the most difficult part the whole time.
Over and over.
Over and over. Make the decision. Get the tools in place. Because it's such an exciting journey, actually. And there is some magic that happens. It is like a unicorn magic that happens. It's not a complete lie.
Oh.
And there's a very exciting life at the end of it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what we have to hold on to, don't we? That there is life on the other side of drinking, and you can get it. It's within your reach. But quite rightly, like you said, you have to take that step. Otherwise, you'd always be wondering and wishing and wanting, but never actually getting to live the life that you deserve.
And life is short, it's fleeting.
Yeah.
We owe it to ourselves to actually just make the time and to enjoy it. I mean, look at you, look at how everything has fallen into place.
Yeah.
And we owe it to ourselves. Drinking is only part of us. It's not who we are.
Yeah,
it's only part of us. It's part of a journey. And we still have a big life to live. So best be, you go through the journey, take the step, and get on with the exciting bit that's coming.
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
Mm.
So any final words, or is anything that you'd like to say, before we go?
No, I think I've said a lot. No, like Gail, just, from my side, it's just, I just feel so grateful that I found my lighthouse. You've really put a lot of work and thought into the way you've developed your programs. And one thinks it's just easy and it's a few steps. It's not. It is a lot of work that needs to go into those workbooks to make them as effective. And neither me nor my husband could have thought that I would be this strong so soon. And and it's all because of a well thought out, developed program. So thanks for giving me my life back and making me realize that I actually had everything inside me.
Yeah.
I just needed to dig deep to be able to live again.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Amari. Yeah. Well, I have to say it's been an absolute pleasure working with you and seeing your transformation. For me, that is, the biggest joy, the biggest rewards is seeing somebody like you realize just how lovely you are, just how much strength that you have got inside of you. Because really you're the one who's done the work. And, we need to be honest, it is a lot of work, but from day one, you've just thrown yourself into it and committed 100%. And now, just look at where you are, look at what you've achieved, and look at what you're going to achieve. I think that's the exciting bit.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Amari. I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you.